केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just 48 hours. Yes, that's all it took for Rahul Gandhi's doomsday predictions to run into a global reality check. The timing could not have been more ironic. Just 2 days ago, the leader of opposition was painting a picture of impending economic disaster, predicting an economic tsunami in India. Today, a fact check for Congress MP came from one of the most powerful global leaders, Russian President Vladimir Putin. In a glowing endorsement of Prime Minister Modi, his leadership and India's economic rise, Putin called India one of the world's fastest growing major economies. He said India's economy is now in top gear and credited the Modi government's hard work for India's remarkable rise.
We all know very well, all those gathered here must know that India is one of the leading economies of the world that shows the highest rates of economic growth. And this is not something that comes out of the blue. This is a result of hard work that the government has been doing under the leadership of the Prime Minister Modi.
As if to lend numerical heft to Vladimir Putin's endorsement, came the latest GDP numbers. Government data now shows India clocking a robust 7.7% GDP growth for 2025-26, making it the fastest growing major economy once again. The fourth quarter growth stands at 7.8%, and look at the consistency. 6.7% in Q1, 8.4% in Q2, 7.8% in Q3 last year, and 7.8% again in Q4. BJP is now comparing these numbers to the rest of the world. Germany grew at 0.4%, Japan at 0.8%, the Euro area at 1.3%, the entire G7 averaged 1.6% growth. So while Rahul Gandhi speaks of economic collapse, the numbers appear to echo exactly what Putin says. What this shows is resilience, especially in challenging decade where coronavirus wars and now energy crisis have disturbed the world, as pointed out by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today in Gujarat.
इतना बड़ा ऊर्जा संकट इसने पूरी दुनिया को अस्त व्यस्त कर दिया है। दुनिया भर में पेट्रोल की कीमतों में लगातार उतार चढ़ाव हो रहा है। गैस की सप्लाई चेन ध्वस्त हो रही है। लेकिन भाइयों बहनों, मुझे बहुत संतोष है कि 140 करोड़ भारतीयों के साझा प्रयासों से देश ऐसे हर संकट का मजबूती से मुकाबला कर रहा है।
And it is not just on the economic front Modi government is claiming vindication tonight. Even diplomatically, Rahul Gandhi and the opposition's surrender narrative has been demolished by Russian president. In an unequivocal statement, Putin underlined India's strategic autonomy. He said that attempts by the West and the United States to pressure India over ties with Russia are useless because Prime Minister Modi takes decisions in the interest of 1.5 billion Indians and does not bow to anyone's pressure.
The US are trying to put pressure on India in some matters, for example, when it comes to cooperation with Russia on some tracks, but everyone has understood that putting pressure on Narendra Modi, that has the largest population in the world, is detrimental for international relations and for bilateral relations. It doesn't matter where this pressure comes from.
The BJP says Putin's remarks are global validation of Modi's leadership, India's economic rise and the government's independent foreign policy. And the joke now is on Mr. Gandhi.
Well, I think, President Putin has pointed out facts about our economy, the fact that India is one of the fastest growing economies.
But the opposition is spinning the exact same remarks very differently. They claim Putin's praise actually hides a warning, proves India's foreign policy has collapsed, and that India's ties with several countries have weakened under Prime Minister Modi and his government.
भारत सोवियत मित्रता नेहरू के जमाने से और सोवियत रूस खड़ा रहा भारत के साथ। आज वो युग कहाँ है? अभी ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हुआ था, क्या सोवियत रूस ने साथ दिया भारत का? मोदी जी की विदेश नीति और आर्थिक नीति पूरी तरीके से भारत के हित के खिलाफ जारी, इस समय व्यापक हित के खिलाफ जारी, इतिहास के खिलाफ जारी, टेस्टेड दोस्तों को हो रहे हैं।
समाजवादी पार्टी समझती कि देश आगे बढ़े, देश तरक्की करे, ये सब पूरा देश चाहता, पूरा विपक्ष चाहता, लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी की नीतियां वो पिछले कुछ समय से जिस तरह से हैं, उसने कहीं न कहीं पड़ोसियों से हमारे रिश्ते हैं वो खराब हुए हैं।
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. As Putin endorses Prime Minister Modi, is it time for Rahul Gandhi to surrender his doomsday narrative? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight on the Newshour, Pradeep Bhandari, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, Professor Jyotsna Tirunagri, National Spokesperson of the TDP, Faizan Kidwai, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Nivan Sharma, Aam Aadmi Party's National Spokesperson, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst. But my first question goes to Tehseen Poonawala. And Tehseen Poonawala, I mean, why is the timing just so very awkward for Mr. Rahul Gandhi? Scuba diving, well, he's an expert at that. But prophesizing economic performance, I don't know. What do you make of Putin's statement and the GDP numbers that have just come out? Well, what does Rahul Gandhi have to say about the doomsday prophecy that he gave just 48 hours ago?
Thank you, Navika, for having me on the show. Yeah, he surely is a good scuba diver, and we've seen it, and he knows how to swim, unlike most people who need to use AI to show themselves in water. But look, here's the more important structural points that you have to make. While the Indian economy has shown growth, it is uneven growth. The examples that the BJP cited in your opening remarks, all of these economies, what are their per capita income versus India? For your viewers, just to simplify it, let's say my brother gets 2% on 90, but I get 10% on 40. Even then, the 2% on 90 is much higher. So you only expect the BJP to make such economical arguments. Congratulations to them. Let's go to the second part of your argument. The fact is today, for the first time, inflation is actually hurting people and the BJP is fudging inflation numbers. So the growth that you're seeing is actually taken away from inflation. But by changing the inflation data, the real inflation numbers are not being caught. And therefore, you have record unemployment, you have record mortgages of gold, you have record personal loans being taken, and the economy is in shambles. Yes, there are a few sections of society that are growing very, very rich. The crony capitalists, the industrialists, the politicians. I'm not denying that. Yes, they are driving growth down, top down, but growth is supposed to go bottom up. Now for the last point about what President Putin says, and I'll end. Of course, President Putin is going to praise Prime Minister Modi. What is he going to do? He didn't praise Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. If you are praised, you have to buy oil from him. You're not buying oil at a discounted rate. You're buying it at 80 and Russia selling at 60. You're buying it in 80 and converting it to Chinese yuan, not in Indian rupees. It works for him. He doesn't want to sell oil in Indian rupees anymore. He's happy with the AED and the Chinese yuan. So he's going to praise you. You're buying a product from him, giving him billions and billions of dollars. What's he going to come to India and say no? Or go in Moscow and say no? India is bad. How does it matter?
You amuse me so much only because you say ये GDP calculation कैसे हो रही है? Look at the base, look at Germany's base. were you in the UPA calculating GDP based on German or Japanese denominator? आप वैसे calculate कर रहे थे. Oranges and apples have to be in different baskets. Secondly, you are saying top down हो रहा है, bottom up नहीं हो रहा है. पहले तो बहुत bottom up हो रहा था आपके समय में. Number three, you're talking about different segments. Rural auto growth, urban auto growth, look at those numbers, and I agree with you, inflation has gone up, but look at the average inflation. In the recent times, war and oil has pushed inflation up, and those numbers and impact are still to be seen. This is, please remember, Q4 and all of 25-26. So don't begin to find holes because these are the numbers of the good period. You should not become like Rahul Gandhi giving doomsday predictions because the reality is just not what you say.
Allow me to rebut you one line. I'll take more than a line. Allow me, please.
Okay.
I didn't speak about GDP numbers. I spoke about the inflation numbers, which this government has. But even on GDP numbers, the government changed the calculation. The GDP actually, if you were to calculate the present,
I gave up.
Is 2%.
Anand Ranganathan Tehsin comes in and says, Putin to aapki tareef karta hai. कल तक ये कह रहे थे that you have let down Putin, you don't buy Russian oil, you have given in surrender to Donald Trump. आज they are saying that Putin is praising you, no big deal. Why do they keep changing their goalposts, and why do they want to make such doomsday predictions virtually on a daily basis, shifting every single sentence that they themselves have said in the past?
Good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I see that as truths that Rahul Gandhi follows Trump. What I didn't expect and not surprised by is my good friend and brother Tehsin following Trump and saying India is a dead economy. What is he talking about? Navika, when you talk of doomsday scenario, the doomsday scenario would come when we have a runaway inflation, when there is rampant unemployment, when we have absolutely dwindled down to the bottom of the barrel foreign exchange. These are the three things. Balance of payment crisis, another. Let me just give you three figures right now, despite a war having carried on beyond 3 months right now. So technically, when you talk of doomsday, let's talk of before the war, but let's not even do that. Right now, our foreign exchange reserves are hovering around the $700 billion mark. 11 years ago, they were less than half of that, 300 billion. Is that a doomsday scenario? Secondly, last year, the Clems report talked about 47 million jobs being created. Is that a doomsday scenario? Clem's report was actually instituted by the UPA. What will you say? I don't believe in it. What are the numbers according to you? Half of that? Do you have any numbers? Third, before this war began, do you understand the fact that inflation was even 1%? What was the inflation in 2014? Forget about that. I'm not saying 2014 before Modi took over was doomsday scenario. Let's talk about 1990, all right? Then you would agree that it was a doomsday scenario, and had Dr. Manmohan Singh not institutionalized the liberalization, we wouldn't be where we are today. Check out what the inflation was then. Check out what the foreign exchange reserves were then. It was not even $3 billion. So let's not talk about generalizing term of doomsday scenario. Are we in a precarious situation? Well, the world is. But the fact of the matter is, just 3-4 months ago, we were in a great situation. And finally, I want to, drive this nail once and for all. The fact of the matter is, if you look at the 50% share of Indians in the income, you look at the Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient, by the way, is in India is the lowest ever right now. Now, what does Gini coefficient monitor? It monitors inequality. That means we are the most equal society as we've ever been in recent times. So all this,
but Anand Ranganathan, Gini coefficient is not what they are interested in. It is the gin that comes out of the lamp that they are interested in. जो जिन देख रहे हैं उन्हें जीनी नहीं चाहिए ना. And that is a problem. And Faizan Kidwai, I want to ask you, so far the charge against Prime Minister Modi was that the Prime Minister has given in all interests of India to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is humiliating him, and India has soured its relationship with Russia. Now today all of that has been put to rest by President Putin himself, who has said that there is pressure on India, but India and Russia continue to have a great relationship, and that both countries and both heads of states enjoy a great relationship. I want to ask you, where is the surrender? Where is the doomsday of the economy? Where is the charge that America dictates our foreign policy? What we can actually see is the disintegration of the opposition ranks. Well, even Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray not willing to come to the India Alliance meeting on Monday. DMK gaya, Aam Aadmi Party gone, Jharkhand, the Congress is having a problem with on the Rajya Sabha seat. Even Shiv Sena is not willing to give a confirmation about their attendance. What are you saying to Prime Minister Modi, who's going to be in a few days the longest serving elected Prime Minister of this country? What are you even comparing, Faizan Kidwai?
Good evening, Navika. See, first of all, I would want to congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister for this exceptional growth, but not for the nation. Only two entities have benefited. First is Mr. Adani, second is BJP. I was just going through the data. In 2014, BJP's income, which was 970 crores, in 25 it has crossed 6,088 crores. Assets, which were 4,990 crores, it's more than 12,171 crores. Mr. Adani's income, wealth, which was 7.1 billion USD, now in 26 it was 160 billion USD. So congratulations to them. On the other hand, what Indians have got, we all know the rupee has depreciated, the crude oil, the oil has become fuel has become extremely expensive, shortage of gas, everything. And as far as Navika, you saying about some problems within the India bloc, I would urge Bharatiya Janata Party, kindly sort things out, put your own house in order. This is no secret that there is a rift, an ego clash between Mr. Modi and Amit Shah duo and Mr. Yogi Adityanath. Both are constantly humiliating each other. There's a power tussle. Very soon your house will fall like a pack of cards. So focus there. As far as economy, you're talking about, Navika, that everything is so hunky-dory. There's this figure, Navika. The informal sector, which is 45% of our economy, employs 80% of workforce. The government of India very, very cunningly doesn't use this while calculating the GDP. They only use the formal economy. It was the IMF which downgraded India's national account data to grade C. It was only after that the government decided that they'll upgrade the base year. Earlier they were using 2011 and 12 as the base year. Finally they shifted. So this is what the government does. The government is fudging figures, as very rightly pointed out by Tehseen. But the people of India and people all around nowadays, Navika, people are very aware. They read. They have a lot of tools they can use to get the real information. So BJP cannot fool everybody all the time. And Navika, I would want to draw your attention that this is a very serious situation, Navika, that the RBI itself has downgraded GDP growth rate from 6.9 to 6.6%. Inflation will be more now, 4.6, 5.1.
Well, obviously, RBI has downgraded after the war. War started on the 28th of February, and after that the outlook has changed. I don't understand why you are making all these statements in a war situation the world is facing. You're saying RBI has downgraded. Of course, you will have to revise the war. You don't live on an island alone.
No, Navika ji, now give me time, since you said it is all happening because of what was happening.
Sir, I have intervened after you have spoken for 140 seconds, sir.
moved out of India. This was before the war started. Make in India target was 25% of GDP. Reality is only 13% of GDP. No 2 crore jobs created. Youth unemployment is highest, 15 to 20%. Foreign and domestic investment has declined. OECD says India is the only country.
All right. ये सब कुछ गलत है, सब कुछ गड़बड़ है. Everything is going to collapse. ये 7.7% GDP growth is a mirage. Aren't coming to you, Pradeep Bhandari. Please respond first.
Fake news reveal करके.
Fake news कौन सी है? Please. Okay. Which part of this is fake news?
When he says, Faizan Bhai says the GDP calculations do not take into account the informal sector. Faizan Bhai, I didn't expect this from you. Please don't spread fake news. It involves the informal sector.
This is a fact, sir. This is a fact, sir. This is a fact, sir.
No, you are wrong.
Fact, sir. No, sir. I'm not. The informal sector in totality is not considered.
Yeah, it's not. Please.
It is considered.
They've reduced the weightage. No, Anand, they've reduced the weightage, particularly on construction.
All right. Pradeep Bhandari, please respond. Please respond.
Navika ji, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. The economy has done so well that even Akhilesh Yadav's own personal income has increased to 26 crore. That's what I can tell you, that even an opponent like Akhilesh Yadav, his own personal income and Samajwadi Party's personal income has also increased. I don't know what he's cribbing about. He was speaking about the IMF. This is the IMF official projection which projects India to be the fastest growing economy. He was talking about an industrialist. I have in front of you very, very senior leader of the Samajwadi Party who Faizan loves, adores. I did not interrupt you for 3 minutes, Faizan. Now do not act like a kid and allow me to make my point for 100 seconds. Please, do not get rattled when I started to expose you on facts. Please, yes.
Please do.
So, Navika ji, you have the Akhilesh Yadav speaking and talking to an industrialist, and you have the spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party here abusing industrialists. That's how hypocritical they are. But I'll come to facts.
First of all.
Come on. See, I did not interrupt you, Faizan. If I come on interruption,
Faizan Kidwai, you know, if every sentence you're going to interrupt him, then it's unfair. I'll give you time to counter, not in between, at the end of Pradeep Bhandari's response.
Please do not act like a newborn kid from whose lollipop is taken and who starts crying ki mummy lollipop le gayi. Please behave maturely. I'll quote certain facts. As per India is the fastest growing economy, that is what hurts Faizan, because people have not come on street. They were hoping for economic anarchy. The Indian economy has responded with economic stability. China is growing at a percentage of 4.9%. India is growing at 7.7%. Japan is growing at less than 1%. India is growing at 7.7%. So India continues to be fastest growing economy. Please delve a bit further into the numbers. The PMI manufacturing, which speaks about the manufacturing growth, it is 54.7, which is double that what it was during the time of the UPA. Domestic demand, urban auto sales growth has increased to 11.8% year on year. Rural auto sales demand has increased by 13.8% and digital payment volume has increased by 19.7%. He was speaking about inflation. You had 15% inflation. Yes, inflation has risen because of war, but it is still under control. He was speaking about deficit. You had current account deficit 5.2%. It is less than 2%. He was speaking about gold, and Congress was spreading fake news that RBI had to pledge gold, but RBI fact check it, but we have reserves of more than $600 billion as foreign reserves. So what is the moot point, Navika ji? The moot point is that Rahul Gandhi desperately, since the time he said that he wants to fight the Indian state, is hoping for an anarchy. Whether it is anarchy on streets, whether it is economic anarchy. But time and again, whenever Rahul Gandhi projects about doomsday, the people of India through various sectors and professional contribution respond by stability. And it is not just right now. Recall during the time of COVID, Rahul was hoping that made in India vaccines will fail, India will be a doomsday scenario. What was the result? More than 140 crore, more than 100 crore vaccine doses. India supplied vaccine to 140 crore, to more than 40 countries. So overall, if you look at it, it's people of India who always stand against Rahul Gandhi and his prediction. The Congress and the Samajwadi Party only have politics of divide and rule and only have politics of spreading fear. But in an age of social media, they are fact-checked by their own eyes.
Forget the fact-check, Tehseen Poonawalla, you're raising your hand. Look at your Karnataka government. 2 days ago it was sworn in and today one minister has resigned. You can't even manage portfolios, sir. You are trying to do portfolio investment for the nation. Please don't. Please don't. The economy is doing well without any support from Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Pehle Karnataka sarkar sambhal लीजिए.
Economy is not doing well. Builders are in stress.
Well,
may I answer? Pradeep, may I answer?
Then Karnataka is also not doing well. That is the one government that you have under your belt that is not doing well. How about responding to that?
No, 1 second. First of all, DK will take care of this resignation. He wants Bangalore development. And we know that Bangalore development is a very important ministry. And DK has been looking after it.
DK will take care of that. NM will take care of the economy. Don't worry. What say Anand Ranganathan?
Rahul Gandhi will do well. The government should consult Rahul Gandhi. He actually understands economy. He's done a very economy.
Okay, Anand.
Rahul Gandhi
and I see the government should come and consult him.
Anand,
should not be
no, they should consult. He's studied economics abroad.
He's got every fact wrong, Tehseen Poonawala. Nobody is going to be consulting him. His own alliance partners are not consulting him. What are you talking about? Are DMK, Shiv Sena, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, are they consulting Rahul Gandhi that you are giving this whole yarn to the rest of the world? Anand Ranganathan lowering everybody's radars. Anand.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you what the problem with my good friend Tehseen is. He quotes 3 or 4 data that is correct, and then he shrouds them in these lies because he has to somehow make the Congress escape the blame. Now, look at the duplicity. Tehseen is saying economy is in shambles. He is blaming Modi for it. In Kerala today, the white paper of the Congress government came out, and what did the Congress government say? Never in the history of Kerala has the economy been so much in shambles as the left has given us. 5 lakh crore is the debt, massive unemployment, runaway inflation. All that is Kerala. So that's nothing to do with Modi. This is what I'm saying. When you straddle 2 stools, you fall in between. जैसे वो फूल और कांटे में था ना, वो 2 लात रखी हुई थी. Tehseen is like that.
They are not straddling stools. They are scuba diving. Please get the sport right. 1 minute. Nivan Sharma. I'm glad somebody has a sense of humor. And Nivan Sharma, I want to ask you. Congress का अपना हाल देख लो. You walked out of the India alliance. What is their success story? Karnataka, that they have managed to do a changeover after taking 3 years over it, and then day 2 of the swearing in of the new chief minister, one minister resigns. Look at their India alliance meeting on the 8th. How many people are not attending is the bigger news than how many people are attending. And they want to come and say that India has collapsed, Modi is bad. The surrender story today has been declared as factually incorrect and a bogey by Putin himself. What do you have to say about the credibility of the Congress?
Navika ji, there are 2 things. Number 1, economy, and number 2, Congress. So there is no credibility left for the Congress. Nobody trusts Congress. No parties in the opposition trust Congress because Congress, we feel, is part of BJP. Congress does everything that helps BJP. आप पंजाब में देख लीजिए, कांग्रेस इज फिनिश्ड, पीपल डोंट लाइक कांग्रेस. आप दिल्ली में देख लीजिए, कांग्रेस इज फिनिश्ड, पीपल डोंट लाइक कांग्रेस. आप गोवा में देख लीजिए, कांग्रेस इज ऑलमोस्ट फिनिश्ड. गुजरात में कांग्रेस इज ऑलमोस्ट फिनिश्ड. बंगाल में कांग्रेस इज फिनिश्ड. बिहार में कांग्रेस इज फिनिश्ड. जहां जहां देयर आर ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज, कांग्रेस इज फिनिश्ड. So why do we want to have an alliance that has a party which is not liked by people of our country? We don't want to be a part of alliance which has a party which is the weakest link. Which always helps BJP. आप बीजेपी के स्पोक्सपर्सन से कुछ भी पूछ लीजिए, उसका एक ही जवाब होगा कि हम कांग्रेस से तो डरे हैं ना.
अरे आफ्टर ऑल ऑफ
सबर करो. कांग्रेस के बारे में बोल रहा हूँ, बुरा लग रहा है प्रदीप भट्टाचार्य.
427
कांग्रेस के बारे में बोल रहा हूँ, बुरा लग रहा है प्रदीप भट्टाचार्य को.
अरे क्योंकि आप ही अलायंस कर रहे हो. 670 ये क्या है? ये क्या है? सोनिया मैडम के सामने हाथ जोड़ के क्यों बैठे हुए हो? सोनिया मैडम के सामने हाथ जोड़ के क्यों बैठे हुए हो? बात यहाँ गाली बकते हो कांग्रेस को, पीछे व्हाट्सएप करते हो राहुल गांधी को, सामने राहुल गांधी, सामने पे राहुल गांधी, यहाँ पे नहीं आपका और कांग्रेस का ये इलू इलू मत हो भाई। ये क्या है? केजरीवाल जी जा जाके चोरी चोरी छिपके छुपके सोनिया गांधी को नमस्ते करते रहते हैं। आज गाली बकोगे, गुजरात में जाके अलायंस कर लोगे। आज गाली बकोगे, 2029 में जाके अलायंस कर लोगे। बहुत हो गया आपका है, बंद कर रामा निवान भाई।
Okay, all right. Nivan, complete your point. Pradeep, hold on.
देखिए नाविका जी, दिस इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग। मैं कांग्रेस की बात कर रहा हूँ, बुरा बीजेपी को लग रहा है। सुन ही नहीं सकते ये कांग्रेस की बुराई, क्योंकि जब तक कांग्रेस है तब तक बीजेपी है। जिस दिन देश ने कांग्रेस को हटा दिया उस दिन बीजेपी भी गई। अभी इकोनॉमी की बात कर रहे थे, जीडीपी की बात कर रहे थे। जीडीपी ग्रोथ वर्ल्ड वाइड जो है वो नहीं मानी जाती, क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग से रिलेटेड नहीं की जाती, ओनली इंडिया में। दिस इज द वे दैट बीजेपी फूल्स पीपल ऑफ आवर कंट्री। They want to say GDP बढ़ रही है तो देश भी बढ़ रहा है। अरे 10% लोग 70%।
Well, how else were you calculating this in the past? I don't know. All the rules have to be changed because the BJP is in power. But ये बताइए, कांग्रेस को आप नहीं ट्रस्ट करते तो वो एक नई वाली आ रही है, कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी। आपका फेथ उसमें है? आपके वहां से गए हुए लोग वहां कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी चला रहे हैं।
नाविका जी, हमारा फेथ तो युवाओं में है।
तो वो युवा वहां जाएंगे, आपके पास आए, उनको बोर्ड कौन सा, जीपीएस में डेस्टिनेशन क्या दिया?
में हमारे को हमारे देश में
सड़क पे आ जाए
तो कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी तो आई ना। जब यंगस्टर्स को कॉकरोच कहा जाएगा तो जब यंगस्टर्स को
खैर बीजेपी तो नहीं कहा था, बट ज्योत्सना प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड। निवान शर्मा says that just GDP numbers do not represent the well-being of the people of India. I don't know what instrument was used in the past. Today they don't want to recognize this as a measurement of anything.
Happiness index which
Pradeep, you'll have to stop. थोड़ा सा ब्रेक लगाओ बेटा, पेट्रोल ज्यादा खर्चा नहीं करना है, थोड़ा कंजर्व करना है, थोड़ा सा कंजर्व करना है, फ्यूल शॉर्टेज हो जाएगी, प्लीज।
Yes. Navika, good evening to all my fellow panelists, you and all the audience out there. Navika जी, आपको लग रहा होगा कि ज्योत्सना आज हंस क्यों रही है, मगर ये
नहीं, मुझे हमेशा आप हंसी हुई अच्छी लगती हैं।
Thank you. But ये कांग्रेस की जो बातें हैं ना, they make me laugh so much that honestly they made my day. Because I'll tell you one thing. First and foremost, Navika ji, congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister of India for his continuous and stable and able government. I'll tell you why. I'll give you the reason also. आप ये पूछ रहे हो, आप ये बताओ कि इनको प्रॉब्लम क्या है। इनको प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आज के तारीख में every sector in the country, you know, every whether it is skilled, unskilled, organized, unorganized, everybody we are taking care of. Whether it is the welfare schemes, whether it is the development schemes, whether it is the foreign policies, whatever it is, we are taking care of. अब ये बताओ कि लोग इनको याद क्यों रखेंगे नविका जी? Why will they remember Congress? Why will they remember opposition? That's the problem. That's where the entire crux of the problem lies. Now, ये बोलते हैं कि GDP, it is not even a mark for that. Now, as you said, Navika ji, very rightly, I don't understand what is the mark, because I'm a teacher by myself. So I believe every country has that, we measure certain economical things with certain benchmarks. अब ये बोलते हैं कि GDP benchmark है नहीं, तो चलो भाई और क्या है? Now they have a problem if a foreign country national, if a foreign country leader, in fact, praises our country and our politicians have a problem with that. But they don't have a problem if a foreign country leader actually, talks bad about our economy, bad about our country. They don't have a problem with that. They by themselves go outside the country and talk bad about the country. Now, Navika ji, अब जब हम ये सब बात कर रहे हैं ना, country has, is it, when I say this, Navika ji, let them, counter me on this. Is it not true that the country has witnessed a major expansion in infrastructure? Have we not seen that, Navika ji? Have we not seen that? Have we not seen, significant development in highways or expressways or airports or railways and connectivity projects, whatnot? And agar aap bologe, even if you want to ask me a simple question, just now, what about the, economy as a whole, as these people claim about? Are we not the probably the most successful country which is talking about UPI-based digital payments to be on a very, very higher note, Navika? Are we not talking about that? On social welfare, are we not talking about inclusive, healthcare, sanitation, financial inclusion? In fact, we have given around support to around 80 crore people through free ration during pandemic. अब ये सब चीज नविका जी इनको ना क्या बोलते हैं? I'm actually not getting that term, but they're not happy with it, Navika ji. कतर रहा है वो चीज ना, इनको बहुत ज्यादा कतर रहा है. They have some indigestion problem in their stomach because of which they are suffering. Well, they see that India should not progress. They see that the people of India should not progress. Any sector, whether it is the organized,
that is the problem that the opposition is suffering from. And Vivek Srivastava, I want to know, when in the UPA era 8%, 9%, 10% growth was spoken about, that growth was due to what? Informal sector or formal sector? उस कैलकुलेशन में इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर था जो आज इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर की याद आ रही है. And today the Prime Minister has come out and said that all that the opposition wants to do is spread anarchy. I just want to ask you, are there challenges that this country is facing, our country is facing, the rest of the... Of course there are many challenges. Has everything been accomplished and are we living in a utopian world? Certainly not. However, the reality and the bright spot cannot be wished away. The things that are right are right. The economy numbers have come out and they show the growth of the largest, major economy, fastest growth. Putin's statements, they are a reality. Why is the opposition always in this sulky, cussed mode कि कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं लगता है?
देखिए, इस डिबेट को सुनने के बाद जो दर्शक है वो क्या सोचेगा? ही विल फील कि यहाँ पे नदियां बह रही हैं, दूध की, दही की, छाछ की, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. सुबह डॉक्टर आनंद रंगनाथन बाल्टी और लोटा उठाते हैं, जाते हैं. आज मैं दूध की नदी में नहाऊंगा, कल मैं दही की नदी में नहाऊंगा, परसों मैं छाछ की नदी में नहाऊंगा. एंड वन मोर थिंग, तो सिर्फ लोटा चेंजेस द कॉम्पोजिशन विद द स्टिक. नहीं, सुनिए, आप क्या होता है साहब, बीजेपी रूल स्टेट है महाराष्ट्र, वहां नदी आई, उसमें दी आ गई, दूध आ गया. जब वो नदी कर्नाटका पहुंचती है तो नदी का दूध पानी बन जाता है ऑटोमेटिकली, क्योंकि वहां पे बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं है. वहां पे डॉक्टर रंगनाथन कहते मैं नहीं नहाऊंगा तो महाराष्ट्र में, कर्नाटका में,
केरला में दूध की नदियां बह रही हैं, लोग उसी में नहा रहे हैं.
अरे सुनिए, बोल दीजिए, मुझे थोड़ा बोलने दीजिए. आप बहुत बाद में आई है मेरे पास, लेट मी स्पीक वंस, ठीक है? आप आते हैं साहब व्लादिमीर पुतिन साहब के पास, आप महंगी चीज उनसे खरीद रही हैं, वो दुकानदार है, आप उसके ग्राहक हैं, वो आपकी तारीफें कर रहा है, वाजवा, लेते जाओ देते जाओ.
तो हम खरीद रहे हैं ना,
पैसा दो.
नहीं. Are you admitting that we are buying from Russia? Are you admitting, because you had said that India has stopped buying from Russia because India is scared of Donald Trump. So now, do you admit that India is buying from Russia? Please admit and please say sorry for the statements that you made in the past saying that India has stopped buying from Russia because it is scared of Donald Trump. Please take back your words. Please apologize.
इतना अग्रेशन,
सर अग्रेशन अभी का रहेगा, मेरा नहीं रहेगा. कमाल है.
Why are you so aggressive? आप जबरदस्ती मैडम अग्रेशन पे आ रही हैं. मांगो माफी. अरे वो इंसेंटिवाइज कर रहा है, वो दुकानदार है, आप ग्राहक हो, आप खरीदो ना खरीदो, अमेरिका आप नहीं खरीदने दे रहा. यहाँ शालीमार बाग में डिमोलिशन और रहेंगे वहां पे नोएडा में मिनिमम वेजेस मिलते नहीं है, वो सड़क पे उतरना पड़ा. पता है व्लादिमीर पुतिन को
एक भाई डेलुलू हो गया क्या?
डेलुलू हो गया, ये अपने आप को हर सेंटेंस में कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट करते हैं. पता नहीं ज्योत्सना जी टीचर है, कैसे बर्दाश्त करते हैं ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स को. बट आनंद रंगनाथन, These are the people who said India has stopped buying oil from Russia because they are under pressure from Trump. Today they are saying, वो तो दुकानदार है, बेच रहा, आप खरीद रहे हैं, इसलिए अच्छी बातें बोल रहा है. ये एक तरफ क्यों नहीं होते? ये हर चीज में डबल स्पीक क्यों करते हैं?
नाविका जी,
coming, Jyotsna ji.
Navika, it's my lucky today. I have just camera in front of me. Fortunately, I cannot see Vivek, but unfortunately, I can hear him. ये जो कह रहे हैं ना आनंद रंगनाथन सुबह उठ के बाल्टी और लोटा लेके जाते हैं, भाई ठीक है, तुम तो सिर्फ लोटा लेके जाते हो और बताते भी नहीं कहां जा रहे हो. Will you at least now admit, as what the Congress has said, that your government left Kerala in complete ruins? The economy was bankrupt, 5 lakh crore debt आपका. Will you say Congress was wrong?
लेके अमेरिका जाते
Tell me.
डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के घर
लोटा लेकर कोई नहीं अमेरिका जाता, लोटा लेके आप चाइना जाते होंगे. ज्योत्सना जी,
अब ये बोल रहे हैं
नाविका जी, आपको अभी तक समझ में आ गया होगा कि they have a problem with each and everything. If we don't buy from Russia, they have a problem. If we buy from Russia, they have a problem. If somebody praises us, they have a problem. If the country goes forward, they have a problem. Everything they have a problem. So I reiterate my words, Navika ji. They have a problem of indigestion with India's growth, indigestion with India's stability.
Absolutely, they have a problem for every solution. That there are challenges, that there are problems, of course there are. But every point that the opposition has made has actually been brought to naught by either the facts, the numbers, or the statements that have been made by global leaders. Where will they stand today as Modi Sarkar is now on the cusp of completing 12 years in power? Modi is almost going to be the longest serving elected Prime Minister, making all kind of milestones achievements. But the opposition, well, the one-day-old government facing trouble in Karnataka, their alliance partnership that is supposed to meet on Monday, well, that meeting is under a cloud because everybody is walking out. Nobody seems to be walking in. The question is, why can't we be factual and constructive in our criticism? The question also will always be the question that we ask the people of India. Putin endorses Modi's leadership. Time for Rahul Gandhi to surrender? Yes, say 86% of the people. No, say 11%. Don't have a view, 3%. 86% people believe Rahul Gandhi needs to be more factual about his criticism. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.